And good afternoon and good evening, wherever part of the world you're in, internet. I'm Old Man Strikeable, and we are going to continue our romp through the Sunless Citadel. So, as always, I'm the GM. I'm Old Man Strikeable. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves again.
My name's Rich, and I am playing the Leonin Paladin Redmane of the Hills.
My name is Nerds, and I'm playing the half-elf monk Dakarel.
I'm Broscamp, and I'm playing a Warforged barbarian called Chire.
I'm sorry, I'm a little under the weather today, so do we get everyone?
No, we still haven't had Maya. You there, Maya?
I thought I said, is it not getting my voice in?
No, I must have missed it.
Oh, okay, I'll re-say it. I'm a tiefling named Riamdro. Detolvi Riamdro, wow. And I'm Mayor Brandon.
Okay. And we're all about ready to get back into it. So where we last left off, our intrepid adventurers managed to took on the job of locating a lost group of adventurers down here in the Sunless Citadel. Along the way, they discovered some very strange shrubberies, twig blights that ended up attacking them. Dealt with them no problem. Continued on their way. Found the Citadel. Made their way down into it. And after some brief encounters with some rats, they eventually met Meepo, the forlorn kobold who was all upset that the clan's pet dragon, Calcrix, had been kidnapped by goblins. Led you to Eustrail, leader of the kobolds, who agreed that for treasure and safe passage through kobold territory, that you retrieve the stolen dragon. And additionally, she's also sent Meepo with you to lead you to sort of a back route. And that is a very quick brief recap of what's been done. And leads you to this room and this door. This empty chamber is home only to rat droppings, crumbled flagstones, and stains.
I think I've learnt my lesson at this point. I'm going to stay slightly further back than I have been. I seem to be a danger magnet.
I'll probably be fine. Got a good armor class. I can do this.
As long as there's no rats, I should be fine.
I'm gonna peek into that door.
Okay. Use this. Go ahead and reveal that for now. That is what you see. Next room is okay. Dust and odd bits of stony debris and rubble lie scattered on the floor. An ornate fountain is built into the eastern wall. Though cracked and stained, the fountain's overarching carving of a diving dragon retains its beauty. A relief-carved stone door stands on the western wall.
What kind of door?
On the western wall, a relief-carved stone door.
Is there any like water in the fountain?
There's a thin layer of scum coating the basin, but other than that, it's pretty dry.
I'd like to ask Meepo. Meepo, did this fountain ever flow with water as long as you remember?
Meepo don't know. We're in goblin territory. Meepo never come out this way.
Ah, we should be on our guard then.
What do you guys say we do? Should we check out the corridor?
Curiosity, what's everyone's passive perception?
Passive perception of 11.
I have 14.
Okay.
14 as well.
13.
And Jair, you were investigating the fountain, yes?
Yes.
Go ahead and make me either a perception or investigation check. Your call.
All right. Yay!
Okay. To you, this is a fountain.
Amazing crafts work.
Can I investigate too? I'm interested in old architecture and what have you.
Go ahead and your choice of perception or investigation, whichever is higher.
Amazing.
Agree.
I'm going to check out the carved stone door.
I will follow you.
Alright, on that stone door carved in are some skeletal dragons. And there is an inscription on the door. Can anyone here read Draconic? Can anyone here speak or read Draconic, I should say?
No.
I'm pretty sure
I
someone
can't.
did have Draconic.
I don't remember who.
If it's not you guys, then it must have been Richard, because I can't either, I'm afraid.
Nope. I have Leonin, but not Draconic.
This is why the book gives you this NPC. People can read it, I think. Walks up to it, looks at the description. Rebuke the dead. Open the way. Rebuke the dead, open the way. Is what it says. And Meepo looks rather proud of himself of being able to read that flawlessly in his mind.
Well done, Meepo.
I should also mention, Redmane. Where you're standing, the air is noticeably cooler.
Noted.
See, the metagamer in me is wondering what sort of anti-undead spells and abilities the paladin and the cleric have on hand. Do you guys have anything?
I have nothing of the sort right now.
I can sense undead, but not rebuke them yet. Unless somehow we went up a level.
I mean, those rats were pretty hard. I feel like this is one of those riddles where the actual answer is straightforward and makes sense, and we're going to kick ourselves if we figure it out for not figuring it out sooner.
Well, maybe we could move on and see if there's anything ahead of us that has anything to do with it either. There's always a chance.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I'm all for moving on the way we can travel.
Shall I lead the way?
I think it's safer that you do than I do, because I'm apparently very, very squishy.
You know what? Neepo will be bringing up the rear, but I'm going to go ahead and hand control over him to you guys. If you want to. Where is he? Let's do this. Give me just a second. Why won't it let me transfer control over? Oh well. Never mind. Okay, so you standing there. Do you see here? And you do see out to here.
Looks like some open doors ahead, guys. Do you think something's out right now?
Depends what was in there in the first place. Place seems to be quite badly damaged.
Also, this section of hallway contains 6 doors, all slightly ajar. The area smells musky.
Yeah, there's no saying how long those doors might have been open.
That's what I feel. Do you guys say we go into this door on the left?
It wouldn't hurt to take a peek.
Alright. I'll front.
Okay, you're peeking into the area on the left.
Yeah, I'll peek through.
You see an empty room with a door on the northern wall there.
Do you guys want to move further through this? It looks like it could lead up to the other doors.
Okay, but I'll stick near the back.
Okay. I'll peek through this.
Okay, 1 second. So you're just kind of peeking up through there.
Yeah.
The first thing you notice when you open the door a little bit, hear a kind of ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling sound as you've definitely, like, the door was rigged to ring a bell when opened.
Oh, well.
Is it loud enough that Jaya and I can hear it as well?
Yes.
Okay. We should probably regroup as quick as we can, and we might have an issue.
Come on, Jaya, we should go see what that was.
Yeah, we should definitely hold on this side of the doorway for sure.
Affirmative. What is the issue?
When I opened that door slightly, it rigged some kind of bell or chime.
Hence, we've, at the very minimum, lost the prize, and there might be a trap being built for us.
Yes. We should stick together.
Did the door open?
I saw through, but I don't see much.
What did you see?
Strikeable, can you tell me what I saw?
Okay, what you saw in the next room. The 10-foot wide hallway that was liberally strewn with sharp caltrops. On the northern wall, passage to the room beyond is partially blocked by a roughly mortared 3-foot high wall, complete with crenellations. So, that's the 3-foot high wall right there.
That sounds like it was meant to be defended.
I think it's probably a spot for prisoners. Do you guys think that? Can I roll for that or whatever?
Yeah, go ahead and make me a history check. And then also, while you're at it, please also make me a perception check. You have
This
no
does
idea
not
what the room
bode
could have been
well.
for, as far as history goes.
We are high rollers today, boys.
Oh boy,
Is that a nat 1?
that is a nat 1.
Oh gosh.
If you hover above it, it'll even tell you like what the roll is and what the added modifiers are.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Don't worry, if you scroll up the chat a bit, you can see an insight check that I fumbled at the end of the last session.
Well, I don't think it'd be safe to go in there for any good reason.
Yeah, I'd hazard
Head
a
up
guess
that hallway.
that room's more like for an unhappy meeting with unintended visitors.
A thought occurs. Since we set off the alarm, what I'm guessing might be the goblins are going to be assuming that we're going to be coming through that door. We could get the drop on them by going through literally any other door than that one now.
It sounds kind of reasonable to me, yeah. Yeah.
I'd agree.
Should we explore in the other direction, do you guys think?
Sure.
Yeah.
Meepo continues to plod along behind you guys.
Can I ask, this section of wall next to where my character is it just sort of rough stone, or is that actually a hole in the wall that's been drawn there?
Oh, it's rough stone, like it's crumbled away. Like it did used to lead somewhere and now it doesn't, it's just basically caved in.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to whisper because there could be somebody in this door. Do we move past? Or
One second.
I just don't like that there's doors across from each other. There could be people in both rooms.
exactly.
Perhaps a quick way to set yourself up to be surrounded. Can you see anything through them?
I'll peek.
Okay. Peeking, and are you guys just walking on down these rooms as well, or are you stealthing, or?
Working to be as stealthy as possible, and I'll peek in the other room while he's peeking in that one.
Reveal that. When you peek in, all you see is what looks to be abandoned giant rat nests in these two southern rooms. Also, go ahead and make me stealth checks if you guys are stealthing on down. Wow, the dice gods hate you guys today. Okay.
This is where we get into combat and just like have like solid crits the whole way through.
Yeah.
We can hope.
Seriously, I know I have disadvantage,
be very, very
but a
quiet,
three.
and then just it's just the sound of your footsteps.
Hey, look, I'm extremely flat-footed. Okay.
And as such, coming out of the rooms, alerted to your guys' presence, 3 giant rats. And
Oh, yay.
oops, hold on. Remove all the turns.
Okay, I'm back and there's rats.
We flubbed our stealth roll pretty hard.
Like this. So yeah, highlight your token and then click initiative.
How do I have, by a large margin, the highest bonus to my initiative and still end up going last all the time?
And then Meepo is just going to freak out and hide behind a corner and not be in the combat. Okay, so Jair, your turn first.
Alright, so I'm gonna whack the nearest rat.
Okay. A 16 does hit, and you straight up murder that thing.
Oh, we just died in one hit. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, you hit that thing so hard, you just like skewered it on the end of your greatsword. There is now a giant rat on your greatsword.
Skemp, have you actually used the Barbarian's Rage class feature yet? Because I don't think you have, and you've still one-shot everything that you've hit.
I haven't used it yet, no. I haven't really had found a use for it yet.
Or a need for it, jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Redmane, you are next.
Good. Moving up to beside this rat, but I'm going to be attacking the top one because I have reach with my weapon.
Okay. Unfortunately, a 9 does not hit.
Well, it was worth a try.
Mm.
And that would be my turn.
Next up,
Okay.
Dutolvi.
I need to ask a question about movement. Can you move through allies, or is that a no?
You can move through allies, not through enemies. You also cannot end your turn in an ally's or end your movement in an ally space.
Yeah, I can guess that much. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
I'll move here, and I will attack the giant rat above me.
Okay.
And let me...
A 10 sadly does not hit.
Ah.
So Redmane, brings down his glaive and misses it, and then you run up ahead and bring down your mace and misses the other side of it. You feel like that rat's name should be Rocky or something like that. Anything else?
Nah, I'll end my turn here.
Okay. The quarrel.
Okay, so considering the luck the others have had with the furthest rat, I choose to charge the nearest rat.
Okay.
And I'd like to attack with my quarterstaff.
Alright.
Oh no!
Just for shits and grins, roll me a second attack with that quarterstaff. This is all for narrative right here, so don't worry too much.
Oh, now I get a good roll. Screw you, game.
So you lunge forward with your quarterstaff and thrust it forward, but you slip your foot a little bit, and you end up bouncing your hit off of Redmane's armor. No damage, but
very embarrassing.
You did feel that, at least. It's like, that's not a rat bite. And you are the expert on rat bites.
Hold on there, partner. Let's try to hit the critters.
Speaking of... Oh, wait,
Well, do I still get my unarmed attack as a monk,
yeah, you're
or
a
is
monk,
that...
sorry. Yeah, you do get your unarmed strike.
Also, there's a variance to these rules, so sometimes fumbles will take away subsequent attacks. So I don't know what house rules you play with on that.
5th edition, there's no rule for it. The extra attack there was just for flavor.
I'm a punch it. Or maybe not.
That looked like it would have been a solid punch if it were a foot taller.
Jai, it's going to be up to you. I can see you having to slay all of these rats.
Okay. Let's see. Let me check. Alright. So the first one is going to make its bite. He's not too bright, but there's a big thing right in front of him that swung him, so he's going to go for Dutolvi first. He's got pack tactics. I'm going to assume a 23 hits your armor class and does 3 points piercing damage.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
The second one is going to go for Dequarl, who does not have pack tactics, so just the first roll applies. Does a 16 hit your armor class?
Only just. I've got an armor class of 15.
Oh, that's, yeah. Then you take 4 points of piercing damage.
That is almost half of my health.
Jair, your turn.
Alright, I'm just gonna do the all reliable.
Oh no.
Dice gods, why have you forsaken
Bring it
the
back,
server?
and Redming very narrowly ducks out of the way as you almost swat at him. Okay. And we have people are watching.
That was a miscalculation.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Redming.
I'm really glad that Meepo's hidden around the corner, because if he could see this, he would not trust us to find his dragon.
Yeah. Redmane, you're up.
I'm gonna take a swing at the far rat again.
Swinging at the far right again. Okay, roll the hit. There's a hit. And that will... destroy that one. So you kind of go right between Dutolvi's legs and stab it and skewer it and pull it back out, and kind of that's a gurgly screech as it falls over dead.
That's what I mean by hit the critters.
Dutolvi, your go. You just had a glaive
All
go
right.
between your legs and kill the rat in front of you.
I'm probably slightly shocked. I was staring at the rat, wasn't I? So, do I have to roll for that?
Nah.
Okay. I'm gonna move here, and I'm gonna go for a mace attack.
Okay, and it's because you are now flanking, that attack is at advantage.
Okay.
Because you're right directly across with an ally on the other side. In this case, Dequarl. So you get advantage, which means that you'll roll your attack twice and take the higher of the two rolls. Okay. The 13 will hit.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Oof.
You got its tail good.
These rolls, I'm gonna have to end my turn.
Okay. Dequarl, your go.
It may be foolhardy, but I'm going to attempt once again to hit the rat.
And your attacks are at advantage because you are flanking with Dutolvi.
Excellent. I was curious if that rule was in here, because I did look through the handbook, but couldn't find it initially, so I'm glad I know that that's a thing now.
The 20 will hit.
Yes, I needed that, clearly. That's not what I meant to press. Was my damage?
If you go to the chat log and click on the word quarterstaff, it'll roll damage for you.
I remember now. I got a 6.
And that's just what you needed to kill it.
Yay, I did something.
Okay. Combat over.
Well, what do you say we check in these rooms? I figure there shouldn't be anything left in them. Maybe we'll find something.
I agree. Hopefully there's nothing left and we can just loot.
Okay, go ahead. Someone give me a perception check and a survival check. They need not be the same person. Okay. Gonna roll you guys some dice here. Picking through, you find 4 silver pieces, 3 gold pieces, and 1 gem that doesn't look too valuable. Like, it's got some value, but not a lot. Say, worth about 5 gold. Okay.
Well,
With that survival check also,
worths.
you notice also there's some tracks in the dust here. Some were made by rats, some made by some sort of humanoid. And the rat tracks are fairly recent. The humanoid tracks, though, seem fairly old and were made by 4 human-sized individuals going north.
Do you guys
But only
think
3
that's...
went back south.
Well, we are looking for 4 human-sized individuals.
That's what I was thinking. Well, that leads us to the right way, I feel. But we could be wrong. We keep
A
an
little
eye
worried
out.
about why 3 of them went back south.
Yeah.
I'd like to let Meepo know that it's safe now, that the rats are gone.
Is there a way
Sure.
we could follow the trails leading to the south?
Sorry, what was that?
Is there a way we could follow the trails leading to the south? I'd like to check that myself, and everybody else can move
Whoops,
on if they
I did
have
not mean
to.
hide that. I
I'm
meant to
splitting the
reveal.
party.
Why are you not revealing? Reveal. There it goes. I will say that you do see this room up ahead. Okay, and also right in front of you, because this is already revealed, I need to go down to this layer. In the room ahead of you, the cobblestone floor contains 2 trapdoors blocked open by iron spikes. The north wall holds a dry fountain carved with an overarching diving dragon. A faint rotten stench pervades the room. You can see, and both these trapdoors are definitely jammed open. Each one reveals a 20-foot deep pit containing rat bones, rusted metal bits, and filth.
Well, that was mighty kind of someone to mark those off for us.
Yeah, maybe that means that this passageway is safer than a room full of caltrops anyway.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure both rooms end up in Goblin.
Can I see any safe way to get around or across this trapdoor, short of just jumping it?
I'll say you can shimmy around the corner, no problem. Like, you can end up, like, here or here.
Okay, if it wasn't for the horrendous rolls we've had today, like I've got an acrobatic skill of 5, I'd be jumping straight across that. But I can see how that would go after the rolls we've had so far.
My God, we'd probably drop the rope all down into the pit with you trying to get you back up.
But yeah, I'll say you can, like, go around it either side, no problem.
Okay, at least I know that I can. But Dutolvi, you were following the tracks to the south, correct?
I was thinking about it, but I have a feeling, based on the only path that we have left, it's either in that door, or it's going to lead into that caltrop room.
I do kind of want to avoid the caltrop room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd prefer not to have something sharp digging into my foot as I fight.
Okay, I would like to shimmy around the trapdoor.
Okay.
And examine the fountain thing at the north.
Alright. It looks a lot, this fountain looks a lot like the other fountain that you found earlier.
I'd like to look specifically for any differences between the two to make sure that they are the same.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check then. There we go. You do notice a worn away inscription on it.
Is it in Draconic?
It definitely looks like the same language you couldn't read earlier. It's in Draconic. Also,
Meepo, can we borrow you?
As you're looking at it, you also notice, with a roll that high, some suspicious metallic tubes in the dragon's mouth, as well as a small rusted iron canister.
Makes me wonder what comes out of the tubes. I would like to back away from the fountain a little.
Meepo, if it'd help you feel safer, I can,
If you insist, Meepo. Okay. Shimmy along into the room with you.
Meepo, there's an inscription on the fountain in that language that we couldn't read earlier. Would you be able to help us?
Meepo can try. He goes over, looks down to read it, says the phrase out loud in Draconic first, and then spraying from its mouth. Where's my draw shape? There it is. inside that cube, anyone inside that cube, poison mist just kind of sprays forth from the dragon's mouth. Everyone inside needs to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
No, nerds.
Okay.
Please tell me that was not a damage roll.
No, that was not the damage roll. Tolvi succeeds. Meepo has a penalty and succeeds. The coral, though, you just kind of like get it. You kind of like saw it, you're wondering what it was, you get your face right up to it, and it just sprays you right in the face. You take 5 points of poison damage, and you are poisoned for the next 10 minutes. The poison.
I have literally 1 health left.
10 minutes, holy shit.
Let me check real quick what that poison condition is. So it means that for 10 minutes, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Oh no, I wasn't doing well at them before.
Ooh.
Can I try and react quickly to pull Meepo and myself out of the cloud? Because I'm conscious that I was the one that asked Meepo to read the thing.
Oops, I did misread that. For those that made the save, you take only half the poison damage, rounded down, so 2 points poison damage, and are poisoned for 1 minute. So Duvolti and Meepo, for 10 minutes you guys, or for 1 minute you guys get disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
I'm
So
guessing we should
disadvantage is like
probably.
the opposite of advantage. It's you roll it twice and take the lower of the 2 rolls. And the poison cloud
I'm
does
guessing
not
we should
last
probably
long.
not provoke an attack in here for a little bit then.
What do you guys say we try to take a breather for a minute? See if we can at least get our friend.
I mean, I could do with the rest. I don't feel so good.
I can imagine, buddy.
I don't feel so good as your fingers, like digits, just start to fucking dust away or like crumble away. I mean,
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. Okay. So you guys are gonna take a rest here? Short, long?
Long enough for the poison to go away, at least, until I feel a little better.
Look, so for
If we take a short rest, people can use hit dice to recover.
yeah.
I remember you doing that in the last game. So how does that work? Because that is a new feature to me for D&D. Because I'm used to older versions.
Alright. So when you take a short rest on your character sheet, you'll have hit dice equal to your level. So you're all level 1. So like, how to phrase it? Your hit dice is based on your class. So like a paladin gets like a D10, monk I believe gets a D8. I think.
Yeah, mine is
also gets a
D8.
I'm not sure. But what it is you expend the hit die roll the health, or roll the appropriate die. So for you guys, it'd be D8. Add your Constitution modifier, and that's how many hit points you recover during the short rest. And you regain half of your maximum when you take a long rest. Well, half your maximum hit dice.
Okay, so what's the command that we need to type in to roll dice, if you can remind me?
Okay, I believe you can just... I'm going to try something real quick here. Yeah, you can just click hit dice on your character sheet and it'll roll it for you. Otherwise, it'll be like /roll 1d8 or something like that. Alright. So you guys take a short rest. Any short rest abilities come back. Decoral, you regain 7 hit points. Dutolvi, you regain 6. And Redmane, can you make me a perception check, please? Okay.
No.
The poison wears off after 1 minute or 10 minutes, depending. So you're no longer poisoned, you no longer have that disadvantage. It was not a very potent poison, just kind of made you nauseous for a little bit. Redmane, I can say that you do smell rotten meat coming from here.
I guess now we know where that smell was coming from.
And you guys were still trying to find... Okay. Are you doing Divine Sense? Let's see here.
Indeed, I am.
You do not sense any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you.
Better safe than sorry.
You guys also notice that the humanoid footprints again, the 4 footprints skirt around the pits, just like you guys did going forward, and then the 3 sets of footprints are doubling back from that western door.
So wherever they lost their 4th member, it was very likely through this way.
Or they're terribly clever and were carrying someone when they came back to throw us off the scent.
It never crossed my mind that they might not want to be found. What could be down here? Well, given the choice between the room full of caltrops that's probably fortified, and I'm surprised that we haven't been attacked by goblins from the rear, and the mystery door, I feel like the mystery door might be our better option here, folks.
I would say so too.
I will go and open that door then, I guess. Peek through.
Okay, you'll peek through. I'm going to say that this is a more circular pit right where that trap is. I just don't seem able to draw circles on this thing at this time. An oppressive smell suffuses the air, rising from chewed carcasses of cave rats, smaller vermin, and a few humanoid-looking creatures. The bodies lie upon a floor of filth. Old bones, hair, and fur that combine to make a particularly large and vile nest. I talk good. And that is not reveal. And you see that. And
Oh,
you guys
if
are thinking you
regret
might
had a
have been able to
face.
get a drop on them.
Rats.
These things could hear you the entire time. So, once again, a good old initiative order. Or initiative roll.
Oh no.
And I need that one.
It has a name.
Okay, looks like I'm just missing gyres. Hopefully his cat's
Yeah.
Okay. This thing goes first, the big one. This one's bigger and meaner than the other ones. It's gonna scurry up. And he's gonna get a bite off through the open door. That's which is actually gonna be. Yeah, screw it, I'm gonna say that's fine. Why is it not going through? There it goes. Does a 12 hit?
It does not.
Okay. So it kind of misses you. Decoral, your go.
Hooray!
I love the sound of confidence in your voice.
We're at that peculiar scenario where we're kind of fighting through a door, and by going first, I'm now in the position where I can make it so that either we put the rats at a choke point by the door, or we try and corral them through and fight them in here, or even try and push through into there, and I am unsure which is to our advantage. I'm also not super confident about fighting over or sort of near the edge of a pit full of spikes.
No spikes. This is just a 20-foot pit.
It still feels equally dangerous somehow, especially with the threat of giant rats falling on top of me.
But
Can I get
on straight.
yeah? Can I get to sort of the opposite side of the pit, round to the fountain, such that I can throw a dart through the door at this large rat?
Yeah, sure. I'll allow it.
Is about there good?
Yeah, that's good. Does a 12 hit? Gosh. A 12 just hits?
Yay!
4 points piercing damage, okay. It's still up. Anything else?
No, I end my turn there.
Okay. Redmayne, your go.
I will be attacking the big ugly rat in front of me that's already attacked me.
All right. Nice crit. So,
Yeah, so far not great damage on it, though.
it is still standing. Okay. I think that's the first critical hit of combat for you guys.
I've certainly not seen the green text before. Like, of all the things
Yeah,
so
it's
far,
definitely
crit
our
as well,
first.
that's the scariest.
Okay. Anything else?
Excellent.
Nope, that's
Just checking
me.
something.
Jair, your go.
All right. I can hit this rat from here, right?
No, there is definitely a wall
Okay.
between the two of you there.
Then I'll go. Wait. I can't go inside, right? The rat's blocking the door. Or can I?
You certainly can try.
Actually, no. I'm gonna try just pushing the rat like away from the door, so like everyone
You definitely
like
have to get into
get-
a position where you can do that first.
so we'll be able to do it from here.
I'm going to say you can, but I'll also need you and Redmayne to make dexterity saving throws or checks. Just because,
Alright.
like, now you're pushed up against each other trying to get into combat there, and there's a pitfall right next to you.
Wait. So if I push the rat out of the way, I can just like. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna like maybe wait and ready my action maybe until one of the rats comes through the door. So like I'd like wait here. So if rat comes through the door, I'll just use my ready action.
I won't stop you from doing that, but with how Redmayne is positioned and set up, I don't think you're going to be able to hit any.
I mean, I can't really do anything else really without it being possibly dangerous.
What if he moves to the north of me? Would he have enough foothold there to stand and fight?
Yeah, I'd say so. He'll have to spend his movement to go around the trap, but yeah, I'd say he can.
Mm.
Which I'd say you totally have enough movement to do so.
Okay.
Where you started. That's definitely 30 feet. Yeah. Around there, and you can hit hash now if you want.
All right.
That is definitely a hit. And how do you want to describe you killing it?
I just want to chop off its head. Like, kind of just have steam like run through my arms and just with a swift slice just chop off the head.
Okay. So you run up from the corner, over and around the pit. You get a good see what's going on. Goothash trying to eat Redmane's ankles off and failing miserably to do so. Come around, bring your greatsword down, and separate its head from its body. It's such a mighty strike that it kind of takes a second to realize that it's dead before it stops trying to bite Redmane. The rats go. One second here. Alright, back to that layer. Kind of stacks up, can't do anything. One rat is going to try to bite Gyre. One rat is going to try and bite Redmane. Start with Redmane first here. Does a 14... Oh no, wait, that... I'm going to be a nice DM and say pack tactics doesn't really apply here. Does a 14 hit Redmane's armor class?
No, it does not.
Okay. And the second one going for Gyre. Does a 23 hit?
Yeah.
You take 6 points of piercing damage. And the other
Big
one,
ouch.
the other one can't really get in and do anything. Dutolvi, your go.
So, question about cantrips and spells, I believe. Would it be able to go through my teammates, or would that hurt them? Because I would figure it hurt them.
If it's one that requires a saving throw, don't need to worry about it at all.
Oh, okay.
If
Perfect.
it requires an attack roll, the enemy would get like a small bonus to their AC, and that's about it.
Sorry, I'm just checking some stuff real quick.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna try this.
On which one?
The one next to Redmane.
That one? Okay.
Yes.
Make a dex save throw. He just succeeds.
Okay.
Okay, so I believe cantrips, it doesn't do anything when they fail.
Yeah, it does nothing. So I'm just gonna sit here because there's not much else I can do.
The big scary one is dead. Decoral, your go.
So there's no way for me to get into melee combat around the others. So rather than that,
That's because the pitfall that's right there.
yeah. But I'm very conscious that they've got their backs to the pitfall. Is there any way that I can sort of stand maybe on the opposite side with my staff ready to sort of try and keep them on balance on the off chance they are knocked in such a way they might fall into the pit?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and allow that. So basically what you'll be doing is taking the help action so that if any of them have to make a dexterity saving throw, they get to do so with advantage.
Excellent. Shall I move a square to the south so that I'm more in line to be able to reach them both?
Yeah, no, I'll allow it.
Okay, so I'm helping them to stay upright from here.
Okay. Right. Redmayne, your go.
I will be attacking the one basically directly in front of me.
Okay. So, Gyre looks cool in chopping the head off the big scary one. You bring your glaive down, and that one just, I'm moving down here, explodes. There is now rat blood and bits everywhere in that area. Like, nice crit, and you made that one go.
So I can't do that against the big scary one, but one of the regular ones, obliterated.
Just straight up obliterated.
That'll be my turn.
Gyre, your go.
All right.
That is a miss.
Yeah, that's my turn too.
Okay. Giant rats go. This one moves up, apparently not giving a crap that its rat friend exploded.
I was going to say they're very brave rats.
Or very dumb. Or both. Okay, first one. Does a 23 hit you, Gyre? I think it did.
Yeah.
And that is 4 points piercing damage. The second one is going to completely whiff Redmayne. Dutolvi, your go.
Alright, I'm going to attempt to do the same thing, I think. Hopefully I can get something off this time.
Okay. Jeez, they are just making these saves. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's like they are rolling the bare minimum to succeed. I apologize. Top of the round, DeQuarl, your go.
I would like to continue helping these guys to potentially not fall into the pitfall.
Okay. Redmayne, your go.
Well, I'll attack. I'll attack the one directly in front of me again.
Okay. And the one directly in front of you dies again.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay.
Actually, no, I take that back. I will take a move.
Okay.
In order to provide flanking advantage for Gyre.
Alright. Speaking of, it's your turn now.
Big whack.
It is at advantage. but that doesn't really matter because you definitely killed it.
I'm gonna be right back. I gotta grab something real quick.
Okay. All right. Combat over.
Thank goodness,
You guys
it's
are
finally
free to
again.
exit the room.
Is there any loot in the room that Redmayne is now in?
There definitely is. So, inside this room, you do find several humanoid corpses, 2 goblins, a kobold, and 1 human male. Poking through the refuse over a period of 10 minutes, you do find 312 silver pieces, 68 gold pieces, 3 gems worth 25 gold pieces each, and on the human male's corpse, you do find some studded leather armor, 5 daggers, a longbow, a backpack containing a water skin, a day's worth of rations, a bedroll, a tinderbox, and 3 torches, a quiver with 6 arrows, a potion of healing, and a pouch holding 17 gold pieces, and a gold ring on his right hand. Further inspection of the ring reveals the name Caracas.
Caracas is one of the names of the people that we came here to find.
He's the ranger that was assisting the children. Or I should say he was the ranger that was assisting the children.
Well, at least we haven't found the children in this state, but obviously we need to take the ring back as part of our agreement here.
Yes, we will definitely be taking, well, pretty much most of this gear, I would expect.
And we can assume where the other trails will lead now.
I think so. I think we're going to have to. However, this room does provide us an opportunity. There's one entrance and we've killed everything in it. We could do a long rest here to get everyone healed up and get all the spells and whatnot back.
Are we not a little bit worried about disease with all of the corpses and what have you?
Sure, it'll be fine.
Sure, if you'd like to take a moment.
You want me to?
We have pits for corpse disposal.
That is a very good idea.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Meepo, come help us move these corpses.
People don't want to, but you did most of the.
Meepo, I will help you.
Meepo appreciates you.
You don't have to, Meepo. We know it's gross.
It's actually not that gross for Meepo considering living conditions of the kobolds. And he's basically the kobold punching bag.
Well, my character thinks it's gross, and I try to avoid actually touching any of the corpses, just sort of pushing them along with my staff.
Yeah. He really doesn't feel a problem with it. Actually, he's kind of surprised that you guys aren't going to eat some of these.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with rations. Thanks.
Also, I should ask, has anyone actually been noting down the loot that we've been getting? I've noted down a few bits, but I can't write as fast as Striker Bolt can talk.
I've got
The
it.
ability to.
Sorry. Let me know next time, and I'll definitely slow down reading off the loot.
Well, we've got it all written down by the sound of it, so I'm sure we'll be fine, just as long as one of us has done a better job of it than I have.
I took precise notes on the things that were truly worthy, and lesser notes on the, okay, we've got a water skin and blah blah blah.
That's fair.
Feel areas, not hide areas. There it goes. Having a little trouble trying to get this thing to behave a little bit. Okay, so you guys are going to take a long rest here?
That seems a
I would
sensible
say
choice.
so.
I'm also going to say, after killing the killing a lot of things up to this point, including the big scary rat, that you guys level up from level 1 to 2 as well.
Oh my god!
Let's
Ooh.
go.
And I like this room because it also has a pit guarding the door. So if anything's going to come get us, we're in a pretty defensive position. I'm not going to mention fireballs. Fireballs won't happen.
Yeah, you don't. No fireballs.
Don't worry, fireball's a ways off for you guys. That said, while if you guys like to take the time to level up and see what you get out of that, also take a quick break here so I can get some water and help clear my throat a little bit.
Sure.
So we'll go on break. I'll say about 10-minute break. I wonder, is there a way to put a timer up on the screen for Streamlabs?
Let me think. I think you'd have
Probably
to either
have
set
to,
your
yeah.
own thing, or you'd have to buy it, because Streamlabs kind of does that a lot.
Yeah, looks like it.
I don't think there's a timer on there. I use it a lot, so.
Alright, plan B, I'm just going to make a text box that says, "Be right back." Five. Okay, and we'll be on break for about 10 minutes.
Cool.
Live again. Hide that. Okay. And hide that. And I believe I am back. Are we all set and ready to go?
I'm all ready.
I'm ready, I believe.
Alright. So you guys had your long rest, reflected on the day's actions and whatnot, and kind of tapped into further potential of your abilities. For sleeping in a stanky room that a bunch of rats were hiding in, you guys do feel stronger today.
Oh, do I regain hit points for the long rest as well as the level up?
Your hit points are back to full. Your hit dice are now... You now have not only your hit die that you've already spent, but one more hit die for leveling up.
Cool.
So now when you take a short rest, you can use one or both of your hit die to regain hit points.
Once we use those, how do we ordinarily get them back other than leveling up?
You get half of your maximum back at a long rest. So if you use both of them and then take a long rest, you get, like at this level, you'd get one back.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like if we were level 10 characters and used all of them, then you'd only get 5 of them back. Okay.
All right, shall we head off?
Oh yeah, we have to go and deal with caltrops now.
Can we... I can't remember. Does any of you remember what the door said specifically? I have gained a new ability, but I don't think it might be what I need. I'm not sure.
I think it says something about rebuking the dead.
Yes, rebuke was the word that was used.
Don't know if Turn Undead would do much there.
That is exactly what Turn Undead is.
Is it really?
That's exactly what you need to do there. That's all I'm gonna say too.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I've got to say, for the many, many hours of D&D that I have played and run games for, I have never once seen someone even try to use Turn Undead, so I'm intrigued to see how this turns out. This might be the most useful I've ever seen that ability to be.
So go ahead and move your tokens to where you want to go. Meeple will of course follow at a safe distance.
Watch out for goblins! Oh hey, I forgot about the door here.
Exactly why I mentioned it. So, I think I'm going to try using my Turn Undead.
Okay.
On second thoughts, I'm going to step back a little bit, considering the last one of these fountains spat out poison gas at all of us.
you can go at that lacking words. Player list. DeQuarl, go ahead and give me an intelligence check, real quick.
Oh dear.
Just a generic intelligence check.
Oh my god.
Okay, you figure that the reason why the fountain above spewed out gas is because whatever was red in Draconic allowed on the plaque there, or on the fountain there, is what triggered the trap.
Meepo, what did the draconic writing on the fountain to the north actually say? We never asked you. You just read it in draconic and then poison gas happened.
Alright, give Meepo one moment. Meepo totally has it. It said, "Let there be death."
I feel that's a bit self-explanatory, actually. Okay, but at least now we know.
Yeah, makes sense. So, did anything happen with the door?
Okay, alright, you were doing that. Whoops. Let's see. Okay, that doesn't matter. So, when you turn undead on the door glows a ghostly blue and silently swings open.
Okay, I'll check inside, I guess.
Yep. View the area here. Inside this room, 5 dusty sarcophagi, 3 to the north and 2 to the south, stand on end in this silent chamber. Each of the carved stone coffins resembles a noble elf-like humanoid in ceremonial robes. An altar with images of dragons carved into its black obsidian is set in the center of the west wall. A single candle burns brightly on the altar. Next to the candles are a small whistle and a crystal flask.
This sounds interesting. I'm thinking of heading in, but I want to check if there's any traps in here first. Is there any way I can check?
Yeah, give me a perception check. Yeah, I'll be nice and lower the DC for that. You do notice that there is a sort of a scythe trap right above the door frame. Looks like it was meant to go off if someone tried to bust open the door without doing what you did.
Okay, so I guess we're safe. I want to head in, I guess. I'm gonna check it out.
Okay.
I think I'll loot those 2 things, was it?
Okay. Question: Are monk and barbarians gonna hang outside or go inside the room?
No, I'm going to choose to hang back. I'm concerned about the remaining door and the alarm that we set off before and the potential for there being goblins.
Yeah, I'm just waiting outside here too.
I'm going to hide around the corner and keep an eye on the door.
Alright. And Dutolvi. What were you doing again? Sorry.
I was going to loot because there was a crystal flask and something else. My memory is kind of rough right now.
Okay.
A flask and a whistle.
I'll take both of those.
Pick up one of the items. the sarcophagi doors each swing open, and inside each one, as soon as I go to the right layer here, emerge 5 skeletons, ready to attack those who would disturb the contents of this room.
Not my best plan.
To be fair, the two of you are literally the most adept at fighting undead.
Do we hear this commotion?
I would need the two outside the room. I need you two to make a perception check. I'll still have you guys roll initiative, but okay, unless one of the others said something when the sarcophagi opened up. Jair, you're not sure if you've heard anything. The coral, 1 sarcophagi opening up makes sense. 2 sarcophagi opening up makes sense. The sound of 5 sarcophagi opening up at the same time doesn't make sense.
Or at least 5 somethings. Bear in mind, I didn't actually even look into the room.
Yeah, 5 somethings. Something
Okay,
definitely
so
sounded off from behind you.
I am immediately concerned.
Oh, I need to be back on the right layer again. Okay. I don't need that open. I don't need that open. I do need... Okay. Alright. The coral, your go. You suspect something weird is going on in the room.
I'm just going to count some squares, because one of the things I got for leveling up was increased movement speed. Not that I apparently need it, actually. Never mind. I charge into the room worried about what's happening. Quite rightly so, it seems, as there are now... Did you say these are zombies, effectively?
Skeletons.
Skeletons. Okay. And I choose to attack the nearest one.
Okay. That is a hit.
Cool. 4 damage.
Okay. Oh, he seemed very... That seemed to do a lot more than just 4 points of damage.
Well, that's good, because my second attack...
Your quarterstaff just does a crushing amount of damage, just turning bones into dust.
But the creature is still standing.
It's still standing, though. Your second attack, though, it's just... You weren't expecting to do that much damage with your first attack, so your melee follow-up just kind of falls short instead of following up.
Okay, I'm fine with that. In that case, that's the end of my turn, unless there's some further penalty for the fumble.
Jair, your turn. You don't know if there's something weird going on in the room or not, but you definitely saw the coral in the room.
Yeah, I saw him like kind of rush into the room, so I'm gonna like get suspicious. So I'm gonna rush in as well.
I realise now I should have probably said something.
So yeah, rushing into the room, just the nearest undead I see, they're all like, they seem aggressive, so I'm just gonna attack the nearest one.
Okay.
Woo!
Amazing rolls.
You go to swing with a mighty blow with your great sword and bring it down, only to realize that your hand's empty because you didn't actually draw your great sword. Just flavorfully explaining the whiff.
You are much more gentle with fumbles than I am. I must say, like, this would be prime opportunity for one player to accidentally cleave another one open.
It's in the 5th edition rules. They kind of like older editions were a lot much harsher. Older editions, I'd also just like have you go prone on the attack roll or whatever. But 5th edition doesn't really have any rules for it.
That's fair.
And
I mean,
so
I used to have people fall over, throw their weapons all over the place. It was horrible. But then when they crit, it's devastating as well.
Yeah, because we do have new people playing in the game. I kind of just want to play the rules as straight as I can before introducing house rules and such.
Oh yeah, I am not criticising. Please do not make these harsher. I'm a player now. I am vulnerable.
Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to do, Jair?
Nope.
Okay. The skeletons go. These ones will step out.
Oh my.
Okay. Alright. Okay, starting with this skeleton here, he's going to attack the one that hit him with a short sword and miss. I'm pretty sure even if it was at advantage, he would have missed.
Yeah, my IC's still at 15.
Yeah. It's really rare to find a character with an AC of less than 10. The second one going for Redmane, because he can't really go anywhere else. Does a 18 hit?
On me.
18 hits. Okay, you take 7 points of piercing damage. Okay, skeleton 3. I'm going to play it straight. He's going to go after the one that disturbs stuff first. I'm sorry. I apologize to Tutolvi. He's going to make an attack. The other three are going to make attacks at Tutolvi. Does a 17 hit?
1 second. No.
No? Okay, nice. The other two are going to make attacks at advantage.
Oh my.
He definitely crit no matter what. You'll take 11 points of piercing damage from his attack.
Okay. Oh no.
I'm sorry. It's happening
I
again.
think I'm down.
Every time
I think I'd say I'm down.
I almost kill a character with...
It wouldn't be so bad, but would it have to be the best healer as well? Like, we're lucky to have a paladin and a cleric. This is almost unprecedented.
So you guys just kind of watch in horror as the two skeletons like step out of their sarcophagi and just double team Duvholvi with swords, like kind of skewer him. And I'm assuming that you don't have more than 20 hit points.
No, I have 18.
Yeah, you are definitely unconscious on the floor, bleeding to death. So if you don't get a heal by the time it's your turn,
I have to do a death save, right?
yeah, you'll start doing death saving throws. Okay. And just for my marker, you're dying. Okay. Redmane.
Groovy. Okay. Okay, I'm taking a
Sorry, you cut out there.
taking a move to there. And then I will be attacking the one directly up above me.
That one? Okay. A 10 does not hit.
Not so much. Okay. Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay, Dutolvi, I need you to make a death saving throw. At least that's not a 1, but mark 1 failure on your character sheet. If you get to 3 failures, you are dead.
Yeah, I remember how it works.
Decoral.
Okay. Forgive me, this is an old concept, and this is one of the things I think has been left behind in older editions. No such thing as just a 5-foot step anymore being its own weird individual thing.
Yeah, no, that's done away with. Instead, attacks of opportunity are triggered only when you leave a creature's attack range.
Also, you can circle them.
So you can move through a creature's threat range, no problem. It's when you leave that threat range where they get attack of opportunity. And 5-foot steps also kind of been replaced with disengage as an action as well. So if you wanted to move away from a skeleton's threat range without provoking an attack of opportunity, you'd take the disengage action.
Okay. Because what I'm thinking is I actually want to move up to the side of Redmane, specifically so that I can leave space for Jaya to just charge through and do what Jaya does best and start cleaving skeletons apart. But I'm going to be leaving the threat range of the skeleton to the north. However, one of the class features that I just unlocked was the ability to spend a key point to as a bonus action use the disengage maneuver.
Right, you do have that.
Right, just let me
It's
mark
called
that
Step
off.
of the Wind. So you'll mark down that you've spent a key point.
Yep. And then I should be able to move here as a bonus action and then attack with my quarterstaff the skeleton to the north of Redmane.
So you're going to attack that one. Okay.
No.
That's a whiff. That's seeing your cleric get double run through like that just has you really shaken.
Yeah, that's fair. Can I get my unarmed attack? Have a go with that.
because you used your bonus action to disengage. You only get one bonus action. I can words.
I'd forgotten that it was a bonus action.
Yeah. So to disengage with Step of the Wind, took up your bonus action.
Yeah, I see it now. Alrighty.
You talk good. Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to do?
No, not at this point. I've left the space open so that Jaya can move freely to try and help as well. So Skemp, it's all on you now.
Ooh. Does 14 hit?
Does 14 hit? 14 does hit.
9 damage.
Okay, 9 points slash. And bones kind of scatter about as this one goes down. Anything else?
I'll move a bit. So I'll move here so that he won't get flanked.
Okay. Skeletons go. I'm going to be nice and have them leave the dying body alone while they move into position like so. And each one is going to attack at a separate one of you. Well, hold on. Redmane's going to end up with 2 attacks on him. Okay, so starting with this one on Gyre. Does a 17 hit?
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, you take 4 points of piercing damage from its attack. We'll do this one next on our monk. Good lord. I'm sorry.
Ow. So that's 12 damage, right?
12 damage on you, yeah. I'm not doing this on purpose, I promise. This is just my curse. There's one combat where I'm guaranteed to like kill or almost kill a party member and do massive damage. Okay, and then the last 2 on Redmane. The first one does I'm going to assume a 22 hits for 5. Hits. The second one does get advantage and hits you for an additional 3. Redmane, your go. I promise I'm not doing this on purpose.
It's all good. I'm going to attack the one to the north of me.
Okay. A 10 does not hit.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Oof. Dutolvi, make a death saving throw. 13. Okay, that's one success. One success, one failure. Decoral, you're up.
Okay. Kind of a dire situation. I only have 2 key points, and it's getting really tempting to spend the last one. But the benefit of it would literally be 1 extra unarmed strike, and I don't think it's going to be enough. I think I'm just going to attack the one that is in between Mayo and Skemp there, the one to the north of Redmayne.
That one, okay. That is a hit. For a similar attack as before, but it's still standing.
And then can I have my unarmed strike as well on that one?
Yes. That is a hit. And you kind of just... No, you swing your quarterstaff upward, breaking several ribs, following up with a palm strike to its face, or what's left of it because it's a skeleton, and the skull just kind of goes flying off as it crumbles, as all the bones around it just kind of crumble down to the ground.
Yay, I killed something.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's everything from me for my turn now.
Jair, your go.
Alright. Kabam.
Okay, you do hit it for 10 points slashing damage. It is still standing.
What? Well, that's my turn.
As it is devastating amount, not looking too hot, but well, I mean, for a skeleton. Okay, next up is the skeletons go. First, okay, I'm going to go with the one on Redmayne first. 6 will not hit. 1 on the monk.
Thank goodness.
21 probably hits you for 4 piercing.
Yeah, that's a hurtful thing.
On Robrobarian, 6 is going to miss. Alright. Redmayne, your go.
Okay, Dutolvi does not look like he's at death's door, is that correct?
He is definitely on the floor bleeding out. Mechanically speaking, he's made 1 successful and 1 failure of death saving throws.
Yeah, I was trying not to use player knowledge to throw in there.
He's definitely on the floor bleeding out from what looks to be what could be a very fatal wounds.
I'll give him 1 more round before I stabilize him. Just try and get another skeleton off of. So I will attack the one to my west.
Okay. Not with a 7.
Used everything up on the rats.
Anything else?
Nope, all of my subsequent actions require me to actually hit things.
Dutolvi. Death saving throw. That is 2 failures.
Ooh.
Oh man. We might have first played it of this early. Holy shit.
I'm saying, looking on the bright side, at least you haven't rolled a natural 1 on a death saving throw.
I've done it before.
If I don't die, I will stabilize you as my turn next turn. Don't worry.
Decoral.
Promising.
Here you go.
Okay. Without healing magic, is there a way to help stabilize another character? Forgive me, I'm unfamiliar with this part of the mechanics.
If you have a healer's kit, I think it's if you have a healer's kit. Let me double check.
I don't have a healer's kit in the first place. Well, I've got a herbalist's kit, so it's similar but not quite the same.
A medicine check can help you stabilize a dying person.
Now, medicine I do have.
Okay, yeah, then you can. If you move over there and spend your action to make a medicine check, you can, yeah.
Okay, in line with that as well, I'd like to spend my last key point on getting that bonus disengage again, because I'm also very conscious that I have 1 hit point. So I disengage and move to there, and then roll medicine, right?
Yeah.
15.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say you successfully stabilize him. But I need to find this in the SRD later. I believe he's still unconscious, though.
I believe you're correct.
And I believe that's all my actions, my turn, so I think that's it for me this round.
Did you just move over, or did you disengage? Sorry, I missed that.
I used my key point to get disengage as a bonus action.
Okay. Alright. Just checking. Any other movement that you wanted to do?
No, I'm going to stay here for now.
Okay. Gyre, here we go.
Okay.
That definitely takes it out.
They're moving closer to like avoid any flanking. Avoid like Redmayne getting any flanks on him.
Okay.
And I definitely appreciate it.
Definitely don't want to be pulling a Dutolvi. Skeletons go. 1 on Redmayne, 1 on Gyre. Redmayne does a 23 hit. I assume it does for 7 points piercing.
Yeah, that hits, and 7 will put me down.
Oof. Oh.
No.
So 1's unconscious, but he stopped bleeding all over the floor. But only just in time for your other person with healing abilities to go down. Oy. The dice hate my players.
And I suppose Meepo has about 7 levels in cleric, does he?
You're off by about 7. Does a 15 hit Gyre? I do not think it does.
So he's level 14 in cleric. All right.
Does a 15 hit you, Gyre?
Yeah, it just hits.
Okay, he does 6 points piercing. Redmayne, death saving throw, please. Beautiful. So, here's how I do critical successes on death saving throws. Normally the book says you just get 2. You kind of like, you get stabbed, you went unconscious for a moment, then all of a sudden you like sit up and start screaming. You realize you're not quite dead yet. So you're prone, but conscious and at 1 hit point.
I'll take it.
That'll do for prone, I guess. Dutolvi, you're not dying, but you are unconscious. Decoral, here you go.
Okay, I'm going to move back in range of the skeleton next to Dutolvi and attack it.
Okay. That hits.
It's always
very
4.
consistent.
I'm very consistently rolling minimum damage. I have 1d6 plus 3.
Yeah.
Like, the odds of this are starting to go crazy. Have I put it in wrong?
It's definitely showing that you're rolling a d6 every time.
Okay, I'm just unlucky. And then I'd like to do my unarmed attack as my bonus action, assuming it's not already dead.
It is still, well, I technically it was dead all along, but it's still standing and still looks like it's.
You know what I meant.
I had to be a smartass. I'm sorry. That is a hit.
I didn't roll a 4.
And okay, so good news is with that roll you still kill it. Looking at it, you've also have it your unarmed strikes because you're a monk use your dex instead of your strength.
Yeah, it's...
Check that. But either way, you copied what you did to take down the other one earlier and took it down in the same fashion. Okay, anything else?
I actually
Excellent.
have to get some stuff done, so I might have to go early.
Yeah. Once, I'm gonna say after this combat, we'll probably wrap it up then, because I gotta get my apartment ready for receiving groceries.
I have to get some groceries, and we have to prepare for some other stuff, so...
Glorious first of the month. So, Jair, your go.
Alright. I'll just smack this skeleton near me again.
Alright. $21 does hit for 10 points. It is still up.
Man, all I gotta do is smack.
Okay.
That's what a barbarian do. All they do is smack all day.
Smack and get angry. Okay, this
I
skeleton.
don't know if you ever had this, but I used to make barbarians roll strength checks for doing mundane things like opening doors to make sure they didn't accidentally tear them off their hinges.
Oh, I used to do stuff like that sometimes.
That sounds like it would be fun in the future.
Going to make an attack at Jair. Does a 16 hit?
Yep.
3 points. Redmane, your go. You're prone, but you're not dying.
Move action. I stand up.
Okay. That's half your movement.
Since I'm assuming I dropped my glaive when I dropped myself, I'm going to make 2 unarmed attacks against this guy.
Okay. And you bring your claw down and just kind of like grab its skull and then like crush it with your hand. And the rest of its body just crumbles into dust.
Well, that works.
I believe that's all 5 skeletons. Okay. So your
Hello?
cleric is unconscious. Your paladin's at 1 hit points, but you did survive the fight.
Who picked up that potion of healing that we saw in the other room?
I don't know if anyone specifically picked it up, but you know, I was in there and taking note of the loot, so at the very minimum, I have it if no one else does.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. It probably makes sense if Redmayne drinks the potion, considering that Dutolvi is unconscious, and then Redmayne, can you use your lay on hands to heal Dutolvi to something more than the very, very small amount of health that he still has left?
Even better, I'm about to cast Cure Wounds on him.
That is even better.
Okay. Dutolvi, you kind of return to consciousness as Redmayne gives you a Cure Wound spell, heals you for 6 points.
So if I'm brought back, if I'm stabilized, am I at 1 health point?
You are still at 0, but you weren't dying.
Okay.
So you're now at 6.
Alright, thank you.
And yeah, I still have my Lay on Hands pool and 1 more Cure Wounds if I need to, in addition to the potion.
Well, it sounds like we could have been in a much worse position. I think that despite it being very dangerous, we actually did okay there.
I'm shocked we survived after that several amounts of crits we had an issue with.
If it makes you feel better, you did not break my personal record for how many times enemies have crit me in a single combat.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've been a witness of that.
Yeah.
Strikeable, what sort of like swamp witch did you annoy to curse your dice so?
Got me. Must have been some mountains swamp witch or something.
Yeah, because those things are scary.
But yeah. Happens once a game where okay, these skeletons actually were a bit more menacing than the other things that you fought so far,
But yeah, so far I've almost been taken out by a giant rat and now a skeleton.
But he legit.
Hello, hot sauce.
Are we
Sorry,
going
I accidentally
to?
hit the button. She started talking.
Are we going to call the session there? Though, because Mary, you said you need
Yeah,
to go
I
off,
have
and
to hurry. My mom is gonna be here before too long, and I have to have groceries in the house. We have soup,
I also need to
Maybe some
prepare
bread.
dinner this end as well.
I have to get
Ramen.
ready for some
And
groceries
strangely,
coming
I
in
have
for me as
prepared
well,
dinner as
so
well.
I'm okay with ending it here for now.
Oh my god, we're so in sync. Skemp, are you doing food as well?
Well, it's quite late for him, but I might make waffles. I don't know.
Alright.
Food bros.
All right, well that was a good session, guys. I had fun.
Yeah, we leveled up. We nearly got killed. Well, that's all of the things you want for like an epic session.
Worth it. I don't even know what I have. I have a whistle and a crystal flask, right? I have
Oh yeah,
no
what
idea
were
they
those
are.
things?
Okay, let me
I,
check real quick.
I kind of want to know.
Let's see. So, fun thing about the candle sitting on the candle sitting on the altar there. It's definitely a burning light, but the wax and the wick isn't burning, and the wax on it is not melting.
Did somebody say permanent heatless torch?
That could be very convenient
That
for
could
our
be convenient
person
since we
without.
have one person.
Let's see. The whistle. Can anyone read or speak Dwarfish?
Not me. I don't know.
This campaign has made me regret my choice of languages. Sadly, no, I cannot speak Dwarven. I really heavily considered this as well.
Yeah, nor I can do
fucking
Elvish.
undercommon.
Undercommon's a useful language. I'd defend that choice.
I chose Undercommon as well, but
so
I
it's
didn't
got
really know what I was
something
doing.
written on it in Dwarvish that you can't read. The potion is labeled, conveniently has a label on it, Potion of Resistance Fire. And go ahead and each of you make perception checks for me. This will be the last check of the...
There we go.
Oh.
Return to form.
Let's go.
There we go, okay. Duvolti, because you spend a lot of time on the ground, they're bleeding out. While you're on the ground, you did notice something weird about the shrine. It seemed to have a hidden away coffer. Inside it containing 6 peridot jewels carved in the likeness of a dragon. Each one worth 10 gold pieces.
Oh. I'll take
Okay.
those. Anybody need some money? Just ask. I can donate this to you.
Alright.
That is very generous of you. Thank you.
How many was it again?
6. Okay. And we'll call it here for now. So, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Thank you so much for everyone that was watching and listening.
Thanks, Striker Bolt.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you.
And-
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you very much for running these, man. They were
and
absolutely brilliant.
if you guys would like to continue, we can do this again next week. Same time.
I'm not certain I'm going to be able to make next week. There's things I normally handle on a Thursday, which I've been putting off for these sessions. Like I've been about able to manage 2 in a row. I would need a week off before I can manage another one.
Alright then.
I think I need the same anyway, since I think next week I'm going to be starting to go until 4 p.m. So we're going to probably have to find a different time for me, or I can see what I can do.
Okay, in that case, just, we can talk about it in the Discord later.
Yeah, we'll do that. I can probably work out a different day pretty easily, or I can probably, we can see what we can do, but I don't know for sure what I can do right now.
We'll see what we can do to work on it. Alright. Anyway, those of you that are watching, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all around. Definitely check out Nerds and Mayo's streams. Let me just put that in again. They're awesome. They're great streamers. They're a lot of fun to watch. Go watch them. Alright. Until then, see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.